Peter is Pater and Pater is Father. So the Pope is holding Big Mama chair for his father, Set, that set him as a Jacobin, an underminer, under her throne to put the circle around the throne to block her from getting back to her seat. Right? So they show you the conjure magic part of it with the 72 stars in the uterus of the Great Mother. Right? But here's the part, if you notice at the beginning, she's not dressed like she from Egypt. She's not dressed like she from Rome. She dressed like Queen Califia. Play the first 30 seconds again, Elder. Where y'all can see her, and then stop when you get on her picture and see if we can blow it up. Don't have the level of resistance of a human spontaneously gender transitioning.
Started with the frogs first, most sensitive to the environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, frogs were switching sexual disposition, actually gaining some of the gonads, actually growing wombs because of the exposure in the soil to the lexicon of chemicals that were coming out of the sky via the governmental chemtrails, which are harmless, according to the federal government.
For the last, ever since the first Trump election, they've been spraying stuff to try to clean that up. And this is why you have it looking like rocks falling out the sky. Mm. It's binding agents that bind to those chemicals to get them out of the air. In some places, your snow, it looked like styrofoam because it's binding agents.
Yeah.
In some places, they even literally raining rocks. Well, all that's the stuff that they're using to clean up the chemtrails. Well, we don't know. We out here going about our daily life, la-di-da-di-da. Somebody was terraforming the earth for a new species to inhabit it.
Absolutely. Giving us the blueprint in social media for us to accept certain types of new physiology, them, they, Zerzy, all kinds of new wording to accept a new kind of, geoengineered life form, or a life form that was being introduced here, like the other life forms that came previously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when we looking at the totality of the picture, and we come to now, what's taking place now, based on what historically has happened, their days is up. That's it for them. It's over. Now we seeing the rollout of the ones that's sending these orbs ahead of them before they get here. The government desensitizing the people with drones the size of SUVs.
Absolutely.
And you know this because Donald J came on and said they know exactly where they at. If they came out of a garage, the military can go right in that garage.
Absolutely.
They know where they came from. They know where they went. That's the drones, but that ain't the orbs.
But you notice that they purposefully created a new term called UAP to take away the verbiage UFOs, which is classic. And they make sure they keep saying drones, but they don't tell you these light ships. And some are diamond-esque type of macabre looking ships. They don't speak about that, and they don't tell you why there's plasma shooting at the orbs, shooting some of them down. I mean, not the orbs, shooting at the drones, shot a few of them down.
So when you get to the biblical description of the angel and they draw the picture and they give you the Dyson sphere, that's what the orbs are. Those are satellites. Those are reconnaissance satellites that is sent ahead of the fleets before they get to their destination. Wherever they coming from, if they're coming from the inner earth, if they're coming from a parallel dimension, if they're coming from outer space, if they're coming from a different time zone, wherever they coming from, they send those orbs, those Dyson spheres, as satellites. And all of those, what appear to be eyes, are just cameras. They give them a 360-degree panoramic view of the layout before they come. So when they come, they know where they're going. Absolutely. They know what they're about to enter into before they get there.
And the orbs are actually placed on, we've noticed and documented, they're over every landmass, and it's usually one, if it's a smaller landmass, so you'll see the orbs positioned there. So they're definitely documenting the area and getting a scope of what's going on. And the other places like Jersey, maybe where there's more nuclear facilities and more, that's where the drones are erecting in more masses to try to accommodate and try to cloak the others that are here. Yeah.
So let me point out something since you brought up New Jersey.
Yeah.
Noble Drew Ali went into what's called the Moorish Zionist Jewish temple and discovered the magic that they was using to subjugate the people of the land. He came out of, this was in New Jersey, in Newark, New Jersey. He came out of the Moorish Zionist temple and established the Moorish Science Temple. Right? Because it was a direct confrontation to the Moorish Zionist Jews. Right? These Moorish Zionist Jews is niggas.
Which is Sephardic, just FYI. They usually sometimes they call themselves Sephardic.
The Sephardi are the Spanish converts, pale skinned Spanish converts. The original Moorish Zionist Jews was nappy head niggas. Right? And they live across the land in gated communities, and they talk about us like a dog, metaphorically speaking. And they don't like us. And the only time we gonna see them is when it's time for them to send in what we call operatives to interfere with some progressive movement we have.
That's right. And they start working side by side, looking like you, but they're not you.
And they maybe their famous thing is kill Whitey, but we don't know he Whitey until we read Black's Law 5th edition, meaning a free white person in law. It mean a Moor. So when you read Secret Relation Between Blacks and Jews, printed by the Nation of Islam Research Team, you will realize some of the places where these Jews wasn't no pale faces into the 1900s.
Nope. They were all brown.
Then, gotta show you another one.
Yeah.
This book right here is called Empty Wagon.
Empty Wagon.
Oh. This is a pale-faced Jewish rabbi. The subtitles say Zionist Journey from Identity Crisis to Identity Theft. The book is about...
What year was it written? What year was it written? Can you see?
Let me look.
I'm sorry, because I went to school with Dr. Jeffrey, so I wanted to know.
Dr. Jeffries.
Which is friends with Malachi Z. York, yeah. He was my professor in college.
You mean Dr. Leonard Jeffries?
Yes. Isn't it synchronistic?
Yeah, that's something right. You know, Dr. Ben wrote a book called We the Black Jacobins.
Yes.
Right. So
if you can find the data, don't worry. I'm going to ask you later because I want to find out if it syncs with something else. Yeah.
It's right here in the front of the book. (2020, 2018, 2020 was the revised.
Okay.
Anyway, so when you see in New Jersey being the first place where these drones are sighted.
Hold on, before you go on, if we're going to reference something that some people got to remember is that in one of the old movies, it was Twilight Zone, or was it The Outer Limits? It was Twilight Zone. It's called To Serve Man. The first place they show in the movie is New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey. And just another reference, there's a gentleman I knew who was the father of my friend who saw their first UFO over Newark, New Jersey, and a giant hiding behind a window, behind a building. So Newark, New Jersey is a hub for something else. Definitely.
So the connection to Newark is the side of Shakur. That's why she in exile.
Go. Okay. Wait.
Okay, so
Yeah,
New
you got me
Jersey,
excited here. Okay. Yeah.
okay, she's the queen of New Jersey. That's her territory. That's her land.
Oh,
So she's in exile. So they
yes.
running amok and disregarding her as if she's irrelevant to the land. She won with the land. She from the land,
That's right. I think
right?
she's from Jersey.
So we all screaming hands off Assata. So the
Yeah.
first thing I want to tell Trump, tell that governor to give her a full pardon.
Well, remember Trump also, and I don't know if you remember, because we know that she was last seen, obviously she had extradition, she had political asylum in Cuba. From what I understand, and she's been relocated somewhere else with the protection of perhaps Russia. But what I'm concerned with is that when Trump came back into power in 2016, I don't know which Trump, his first thing was to put a bounty on her head again. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, well, that was to bring attention to Benghazi.
Okay, okay.
Right. Now, when you go look at the images of Benghazi and you want to know where Tupac is, then go look at the images and come back and we had this discussion
Oh,
again.
oh, okay. Oh,
They so you got this brother with these Arabs shooting up the embassy in Benghazi. They can't tell you that they know Tupac ain't dead.
mm,
That changes the whole liberation dynamic of our people if we see that they know Tupac is alive. Right? They asked Puffy about it since he been locked up. They say, Puffy, we heard you put $1 million bounty on Tupac head. He said, Tupac ain't dead. And they was like, what? Where he
oh,
at?
we heard it from before. So, and also there were
Yeah.
sightings of him. So we presume that most likely he did one of those, no sight, no sight, no
So
see.
in the art of war, when the ruler or the general is believed to have an assassination order, it's also in the guerrilla warfare of Mao Zedong, who faked his death at least 6 times.
Mm,
That if, in order to throw off the strategic value of the opposing force, you feign the death of the strategist, and now they can't adjust for him as a strategist. So they can't make a contingency in the warfare for this particular general. It's like having Hannibal, but you don't know he's still alive.
I understand. Yeah. You're chasing a
Right.
ghost. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she said chasing the ghost, and the irony of it is he got a song called Ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts? Real live black ghosts?
See that? It's all in the lexicon. It's all in the lexicon,
Right.
pre-scripted. Yeah.
Tupac is the Tupac Amaru reincarnate. He inherits the war of Tupac Amaru. Whoever he was fighting as Tupac Amaru, as a Mississippian from the Panther Totem Clan, when he's born, because of his genetic rank, he inherits
The
the
war.
war that was given to Tupac Amaru. Just because they kill one of us don't mean we're not going to send somebody into the future to come back
That's
on our
right.
behalf.
That's right.
Just like I inherited the war of Chief Pontiac against the French. Right? And just like Divine Insight inherited the Haitian Revolutionary War of Toussaint Louverture. We don't want this shit.
That's right.
We don't want it. But we got to fight the war if we want to be free.
Well,
so what we don't want work. Do we want to be free, or do we want to be slaves? Do we want to be go along to get along slaves, or do we want to fight for freedom?
Well, my concept is we're living in a simulation, so you're always going to get a character to match what's necessary. It's always a program, so you gotta get someone in. If one's taken out, that same character in another form has to come in to complete the mission. That's just my
right
on it. Yeah.
Now they thought that when they froze Tookie, because they didn't execute him, they put him in cryostasis.
I could see that.
And then, because he was what you call persona non grata in the war. You're not supposed to take out one of the big three chiefs. Most of us on the land right now don't know who the big three chiefs was.
They're not, but they can isolate them, they can encapsulate them, but they're not allowed to kill them. It's part of their agreements, yeah.
So when they gave him the death penalty, instead of putting him to death, they narcotized him.
Yeah.
And then they put him in cryostasis.
I could see that. Yeah.
Now, they thawed him out, I think in 2020 or 2021, they thawed him out. Because he had been frozen for so long, he was classified as dead. You can't kill him twice. He walking around between two places, Area 51 and Raven Rock, Colorado, in the underground bunker.
That's why they probably flooded out Area 51 not too long ago. Yeah.
That's where he came. That's where they had him stored at when he was frozen. Right? Now that he thawed out, you gonna know because he gonna come to you, and I'm gonna tell you how you gonna know it's him. Look for the lightning bolts and the walking lightning, because that's his signature.
Okay.
When he come to you, he's a guerrilla chief, so he might be a whole gorilla come to you in the psychic connection as walking lightning gorilla.
Well, I figure maybe I've been prepped with you and the others previously. Yeah.
Okay, now the other two chiefs, you got the Tuki is 44 blue.
44 blue.
44 blue. 44 being angel.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What we know is Chief Malik Jeff Ford, Angel Bay is 44 red. He's the one supposed to be out here kicking these in their ass. His tribe was busted up by COINTELPRO before he was able to realize the totality of his mission. They had to get him where they can put him under and make him a bond servant. They can put him under their jurisdictional authority.
And I'm sure they found out who he was and whatever his mission was.
They knew who he was from birth.
Yeah, Project Looking Glass, they can see the variations within who comes in. They know, kind of like Terminator.
They've been following me my whole life.
I know that's right. I know.
I've been knowing they following me because I had times where I be walking down the street 3 a.m. in the middle of the night in Chicago and don't nobody know me in this area. And then I feel like somebody watching me. Who the hell is this watching me? Right? And I'm looking around and I don't see nobody, but I know they there.
They are.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
It's a book called The Sense of Being Stared At.
You can feel the dagger of sight on someone, whether they're cloaking themselves, putting in invisibility. They watch certain people, and I know the legitimacy of someone by the attacks they get. Because I'm the queen of attacks on YouTube. I love the attention. Let me give a shout out to YouTube for being the biggest hater. I mean, they attack me for nothing. I could say the word clone, I get attacked. But usually by default, because one can recognize real by the amount of attention and also attack and the types of attack. So when they try to take away from people looking at someone who can give them value and just lead them like a Moses into an awareness, they'll attack them personally. Welcome to the world of social media. Okay.
And that's also part of the verification of your mission. If you don't have no opposition,
you're not worthy of.
You're not doing something right.
It's true.
But when they coming at your head like they came for you, like they came for me, and a whole lot of others, you doing something right because they want you to stop doing it at all costs, and they going to pull out all the stops to shut you up.
That's right. Yeah.
They can't figure out because I know they MO. So I was able to systematically use social media and don't form in congregated groups.
Listen, you don't have to. Yes, I know.
I know they MO, I know they pattern, I know how they operate, and I've been staying just outside of they operating procedure, they SOP. Right? So I already know how they move. So I'm moving right on about their way. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing because we about to take this SOB over, and ain't nothing they can do about it.
Well, now there's targets on everybody's back who was trying to cause any sort of like ripple because that's just basically going to ripple back into their direction. If you
Mm-hmm.
didn't take us out already, you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah. So now all of the ones that was attacked and the people that was doing the attacking, the ones that was the frauds, they gonna be drug out. Yeah. All we got to do is sit back and watch. We don't got to do nothing. We the chosen ones. And the reason why we chosen, because we chose ourselves to accept our path to do our work. Don't nobody want to do this shit for real.
Absolutely not.
This is some, look, it's when you talking to people, right? I tell them I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. Right? I can show it to you, but I can't give you the realization. You know? And I'm fully aware that smart people sound totally bat fucking insane to a dummy. Right? So now we're looking at so where you fit in the category. Is you the one I explained it to that want me to understand it for you? I can't understand it for you. Right? Or is you the one that think I'm insane because you a total idiot? Yeah.
I hope someone, did you all receive? Okay.
So when we take these responsibilities on, people think this come with glamour like a celebrity. It don't come with none of that.
No.
This is
it comes with a lot of paranoia, a lot of trying to evade things, trying to, relegate your life around certain types of, what you perceive challenges or attacks,
Yeah, like you might be looking at somebody pointing a gun at you and you tell somebody next to you, he pointing a gun at me. Why you think somebody, you always think somebody trying to do something to you. I'm looking at him pointing this gun at me. No, you just paranoid. I'm not paranoid. I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah. And it's the same as someone who sees a craft and one who doesn't. If your perception of reality is higher at a certain grade or hierarchy and someone doesn't see it, they will think that you're insane for seeing something that they're unable to see.
Or if they're going to come up with a cognitively dissonant explanation to try to explain it away. Because they can't explain
contacts. Your contacts are dirty. You fell asleep. You were partying last night. You were drinking something. So now your contacts are foggy. That's why you're seeing the glitz and glitter in the sky. And even, or, you're suffering from depression. You broke up with your boyfriend and now you just, delirious. One or the other.
That's what Prince say. Let's go crazy. Let's get wild.